Lasciatemi cantare, perché ne sono fiero. What a game. That is the Roma I want to see. That is the football I want to see. And I want to see that type of a game every single weekend, not once every 10 years. I need to see that. My body needs to see that. My blood flow needs to see that. That was beauty. That was an absolute beauty to our eyes. It was just incredible to watch from the first minute to the 90th minute. I hate to say this because it doesn't usually happen, but I have to admit that in 90 minutes I never felt bored. And that is something big, because these games in these past years, months, have been bad games to watch. Yesterday's game, it was just like you sit in a bar in an open park, you get an iced lemon tea during the July heat, 40 degrees, you just lie there next to a tree which gives you that shadow. It was just beauty to our eyes. And yeah, look, I need to, first of all, I'm going to do one thing. The first thing which I'm going to say is, if anybody here wants to call me an incoherent bitch, this is your time to do it. Because if you see the first 3 games we played, and then you look at this game, I was definitely not expecting it. I thought we were going to win, but not 7-0. So if you want to call me an incoherent bitch, this is your time to do it. This is your time to do it without me calling you a troll. Do it. If you want to do it, do it. I will give you all the praise if you want to do that. No, but jokes aside, very important thing. The fact that we won 7-0 against Empoli is massive, but it is not a justification of us losing points against Salernitana and against Verona. And you know, again, this sport is a sport which is built on emotions. And I think we can all agree on this. You know, you lose a game, you're pissed. You win a game, you're great. I'm so hyped right now. Look at us lose on Thursday against Sheriff, and I'm back being that moody bitch. And that's just how it works. That's how life works. That's how football works. So, it's just, add on to that, to the fact that I'm an 18-year-old, I mean, you can't not get it. You just can't get it more than this. This sport is an emotional sport, and my mood depends on this team. My mood has depended on this team over the past 10 years, and it surely will not stop depending on this team right now. But, as much as yesterday's game was a massive game, it is not a justification for us losing points against Salernitana and against Verona, because those are 5 points which we will never be able to get back. And I'm not saying that Empoli and Verona are the same exact team, because Empoli's weaker, but Verona isn't Real Madrid compared to Empoli. We could have easily won, I'm not saying 7-0, but we could have easily won 3-0 against Verona. You look at the players which are absent and all of that. This is football. You lose, you win, you move on. And we needed a reaction, and we got what a reaction we got. And yeah, I mean, the first thing which I will say on this, call me incoherent, don't call me incoherent, I'm going to back myself. I was never Mourinho out. I've seen a lot of comments on Instagram posts and all of that being Mourinho out. And if you've been here, you will know that I publicly said in one of these live streams that I was not Mourinho out. And if you think I was Mourinho out, you're not spitting facts, because I publicly said I wasn't Mourinho out. But you look at the first 3 games, and the way we played, the organisation, the development in a game was absolutely terrible. And when things have to be said, things have to be said. I was never Mourinho out, and I will never be Mourinho out. And the fact that we've won 7-0 and got that reaction that we needed is a very big reason for that. Before speaking about the game, I'm going to go on another tangent, which is the favourite tangent which I'm going to pick up in this live stream. And it involves the man of the match of yesterday's game. Now, my dear friends, anybody who has hated on Cristante before and has said Cristante is terrible, Cristante is absolute garbage, Cristante needs to get out of this team, this is your time to exit this live stream. Because Cristante, yesterday, played better than bloody Rodri. I mean, what Cristante did yesterday, it's literally him going like that to all of those haters. If you're a Cristante hater, leave this live stream right now, because you're gonna get a headache on how much I'm gonna praise him. So if you insist on criticizing the player who in 3 years under Mourinho has never been injured, a player which 3 years under Mourinho has recovered positions which weren't his positions to benefit for the team because of the injury crisis we had, to criticize a player who yesterday on the pitch was everywhere on the pitch, provided an own goal, scored what will probably be the goal of the season at the end of the season, and provided 2 assists. If you are a Cristante hater right now, leave this live stream, because you don't know about this sport. And just Cristante is the machine of this team. And nobody will ever change my idea on this. And again, you ask yourself something very big. Why does Mourinho always pick Cristante? That's the reason why he picked Cristante. Because he is the machine of this team. He is the machine of this team. And again, we have an offensive machine, which is Dybala, and we've got a defensive machine, which is Cristante. It's like building a bridge without measuring distances. You can't do it. And that's how important he is. He is so important. I mean, that goal he scored, it's not about that goal, because that goal is just the cherry on the cake. It's about the game he played. He was everywhere on the pitch. It's about the fact that he's provided an own goal, provided an assist to Dybala with that beautiful goal, provided a backheel assist to Manchi. Cristante has to be man of the match. And if Cristante isn't the man of the match, then yeah, it can be Dybala. But you see, going with Dybala as man of the match is way too easy, because it's like going when saying Dybala is the man of the match. Yes, Dybala is an amazing player. Dybala is a talent, but it's too easy to say Dybala is man of the match. It's like saying when City plays Haaland is man of the match. It's way too easy. You got to look at the deeper insights of games and look at how vital Cristante is to the system we play. And yeah, I mean, it's just, he has his off days, without a doubt. He has those days where he just doesn't want to play football. But the days he steps up on that pitch, Cristante is top 3 most effective midfielders in this league. Call me crazy, I don't care. And yeah, I mean, I could continue with, I could use an entire dictionary to appreciate Cristante, but I have to move on to the next player who I am going to appreciate, which is, let's call it a combination of 2 players, the Lukaku-Dybala duo. I mean, Dybala creates, Lukaku scores. Have we all seen, how have we all understood how vital a player like Lukaku was in our team? Because you just don't knock him down. It's as simple as that. You just do not knock Lukaku down. You just don't. It's impossible to knock that man down. He stops the ball. You see, another thing, Lukaku plays from the very first minute. It's Empoli, yes, and we'll get into that at the end of this stream. But when Lukaku plays, is it a surprise we play way more entertaining football? Forget the fact that it's Empoli. I know, forget about that for a second. But isn't it true? I mean, Lukaku just makes the entire team play better because he's so big and so invasive. And the way he stops the ball and keeps it makes the entire team go forward. First of all, creates way more attacking threats, and that's why we scored 7 goals, apart from the fact that Empoli are a terrible team. But second of all, we just look way more fluid when we've got somebody who can keep balls. The problem with Tammy last season was exactly this. Tammy did not, by any means, keep one single ball up front last season, because he got bullied in compared to Lukaku. And yeah, and that, in my opinion, is one of. And again, if you add Dybala next to him, Dybala is pure magic. I think the Dybala and Lukaku duo can become one of the most threatful duos up front. There are better duos up to now because, again, they need to get to know each other more. But let me warn you: if Dybala and Lukaku get more of that connection in, by February and March, they can easily become the most threatening duo in the league. I just want to answer to one quote, because I will accept me being called an incoherent, and I've said it. If you want to call me an incoherent person now, do it. But I have to answer to this. You always condemned Cristante for being sluggish 2 years ago and wondered why Mourinho kept faith in him. That is wrong, because I love Cristante, and that comment which you just made, mate, with all your respect, suggests to me that you've been around since yesterday. I have literally gone through comments saying that I suck dick of Italian players by how much I never blame Cristante. So that comment is completely out of context, because I am the first one who has ever defended Cristante against all the hate he receives week in and week out by some people who do not understand the vitality of his position. Again, I will agree. Some players I can't stand, but to say that I've always condemned Cristante is fake news, because I am the first one to have always said that Cristante is vital in his teams. He has his off days. And when he has his off days, he can be a terrible player. But that's why in my predicted 11s he's always there. That's why I never really blame him in match reactions. So that's incoherent, and I'm calling you incoherent here, because that ain't true. I've always defended him, and I've always been a big fan of him, and I've always been the one who has protected him from hate, because hating on Cristante is like unscrewing a needle in a bad way. Moving on, the very important thing, which, look, it is Empoli. Empoli are going to get relegated. They played 4 games, scored 0 goals and conceded like 15 goals. Empoli are a bad side. They are going to sack their manager in a few hours, as confirmed by Di Marzio. But that's not where I want to bring this stream. The fact that we won against Empoli isn't the thing. The fact that we won against Empoli, yes, okay, we won against Empoli. Everybody was expecting it. I hope so. But, we've scored 7 goals past Empoli. They are a team which are a bad side, but they're not a newly promoted side. They are a team which lack organisation. They lack chemistry. They lack momentum. They're living a very tough moment. But scoring 7 goals isn't for everybody. Nobody beat Empoli 7-0. Juventus beat Empoli 2-0. So I agree, it is Empoli. They are a bad side. But scoring 7 goals is something which happens once every 10 years. I've never seen Roma win 7-0. And that's in 18 years of my life. I'm normally used to us conceding 7 goals. 6-1 against Bodo, 7-1 against Bayern Munich. I'm normally the one reacting to us concede 7 goals. So, you see, the fact that we won 7-0 is big. The reaction came. Regardless of whether it's Empoli or not, we've managed to score 7 goals. If that's their problem, that's not my problem if we scored 7 goals. If they yesterday didn't want to play football, that's not my problem. I did the job, I took the 3 points, and I'm back home. But I do agree, Empoli are a very weak side. So, and this is what I'm saying, the fact they won 7-0 against Empoli isn't a justification for the points we lost in the first games. It surely isn't, and it can't be. It's great, and now we will definitely be way more, what do you want to call it? Our momentum is definitely going to be on our side. Definitely. And the fact that we've scored 7 goals will help us on Thursday, on Sunday, on Tuesday when we play against Genoa. So yeah. But the one thing which I do want to say is that there is such a big difference between Roma with Renato Sanchez, Dybala and Lukaku and Roma without. Because if Lukaku, Dybala and Renato Sanchez weren't on that pitch yesterday, we would have won, but we would have probably won 2-0. You see, there is, and this is the realization that if everybody is fit, if everybody is on good form, you know, the minimum is fighting for top 4. Because, again, call me crazy what I'm about to say, but if everybody is fit, and I include Pellegrini, who yesterday wasn't fit, Aouar, who wasn't fit, Renato Sanchez, if he can keep his fitness, Ndika, if he can keep his fitness, Smalling, if he can keep his fitness, Dybala, if he can keep his fitness, Lukaku, if he can... If these players can all keep their fitness, and we play with this team week in and week out, this season we are far better than Napoli. We are far better than Napoli. The problem is that we are going to have more injuries because of the physical condition of these players. But if this is our team, we are better than Napoli. We're defensively better than Napoli. And apart from Osimhen, yes, maybe I'm saying this because we just scored 7 goals. But if this is our team which plays every weekend, we have got a better overall squad depth and starting 11 than Napoli. So, and that links back to the question, do you think we'll get top 4? Top 4 defense is very hard because it depends on the fitness of these players. And the fitness of these players is the biggest question mark throughout this season. If these players can keep fit, top 4 can happen because we are better than a potential Napoli or a potential Atalanta or a potential Lazio. The problem is we won't always start with these players because they're going to be injured. And that's where, unfortunately, it's those games where we don't have these key players, where we're going to lose points. And at the end of the season, it's just... the result is gonna be seen and the effects are going to be seen. But yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to say here is, with Lukaku and Dybala and Renato Sanchez on the pitch, we can have poor tactics, but we will play good football. If we don't have Lukaku, Dybala and Renato Sanchez on the pitch, if we play with the tactics that we've played against Milan or against Verona, we will have a lot of difficulties. So our season does depend on these players. Long story short of what I just said, our season depends on these 3 players. Because we are so dependent on certain players that even if we don't play magnificent football, these players will turn it into good football to watch and the goals will come. Problem is when they won't be there. Renato Sanchez, another very, very key individual to yesterday's success. I've missed a player who actually infiltrates in the box. Christensen's been great. I mean, the match preview of this game was spot on. I said Christensen was going to get an assist, and he got an assist. I said Lukaku was going to score, and Lukaku scored. And I said Dybala was going to score, and Dybala scored. That's why you got to watch the match reactions. Sorry, the match previews. But yeah, look at this. If we look at the table standings right now, I mean, it's pointless to look at them because everybody is close together. But we are now 12th, 4 points with Bologna, 2 points from Atalanta and Verona, who are 10th and 9th respectively, 3 points from Torino, Fiorentina, Frosinone and Napoli. Everyone's close together apart from Inter, who look like a very good team, and Milan, obviously, and Juventus. Yeah, goal is to just, win game by game. Focus now is on Europa League on Thursday. There will be some changes without a doubt, but we definitely can't underestimate that game because we need that first spot in that Europa League group stage. So yeah. I am gonna maybe catch you tonight with the weekly talk so we can look at deeper insights, statistics, and all of that regarding this game. So stay tuned for that. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me quickly see who you guys voted as man of the match because I'm very curious to see. Very curious to see. I am very curious to see. Actually tonight, Dybala 49%, Cristante 37%, Lukaku 11%, and Belotti 3%. Right, I am gonna catch you tonight. Smash the like button. Actually, let's read some comments before ending the stream. Sanchez was the key. More vertical passes through the middle helps upon open up space, break the lines. Team defending so easily against our over reliance on a wing play. Yeah, I definitely agree. But I would also say I agree. Sanchez was the key, but Sanchez's goal with a well-organized defense would have never happened. I mean, they just let Sanchez roll into that defense as if he was a Volkswagen in the German Autobahn. That goal will never happen with a more organized defense. Empoli's defense yesterday was terrible. I mean, if you concede 7 goals, you can't be great in defense. So, yeah. I voted Lukaku because even though Cristante and Dybala were better, they were better because of Lukaku's presence. Interesting. The team fought for Jose today. Indeed, die with a game, says Michael. Christensen, Karsdorp, Celik, Spinazzola and Zalewski's values will all increase significantly because they will get so much space on the wings because of the attention that Lukaku and Dybala command. The only negative from that game was that Spina had a silent performance against Empoli. Not a good sign. I love the guy, but he had seen... Yeah, I agree. Cristante has always been a solid player. I don't get the hate about him. Simo, can you comment on the VAR who failed to see... Oh, yeah. Can somebody please explain to me how that guy can get a red card? I mean, if Mourinho says something and protests against the referees, he gets 5 games bans. And Cancellieri, who head-butted Ndika, didn't get a red card. And VAR wasn't even called. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Fantastic game overall with our guys available. We can really show our quality. Yeah, it's all about the top guys. If they're available, we're in for a very good season. But again, I have so many question marks on the fitness of these players. Again, Aouar apparently was placed in the stands because he told Mourinho he felt something in his leg. The fitness is the most important thing. If the fitness is there, I'm convinced we can have a great season because we have a great team. But the fitness is just that big nemesis of question marks which just doesn't end. That Dybala goal maybe go out of mind. Lukaku's made a huge improvement in our game. What a striker. For me, Dybala and Cristante were obviously the man of the match, but I also think Igalo Belotti needs some appreciation. He came on, got 2 assists and was amazing. Absolutely. And he knows that Lukaku won't give him much space now, so the few minutes which he'll have, he'll try and, do it strong. And, I'll answer that later on. Anyways, Lubala power. Aouar, Sanchez, Pele, Dybala will play 50-60% of games. Anything more will be a bonus. Really liked Rasmus' game. I agree. Rasmus played good. With Evan, we have a way better defense, says NS. Whereas Pellegrini had a problem, a muscle problem when he was with the Italian national team. So he wasn't available for this game. Nice vlog, Simo. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Any update on the Smalling situation? It's nothing major, but he'll be back. Greetings from Northern Ireland. Is sempre forza Roma. Love it, mate. Like my teacher from Northern Ireland. Anyways, catch you later tonight. Talk to you soon. Let me know your comments. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. And talk to you very, very soon. Simo out.